What is your name and what do you do?
My name is Butch McKay. I'm the Executive Director of Okaloosa AIDS Support and Informational Services. We call ourselves OASIS, and we're in Fort Walton Beach, Florida.
And we're here at Positive Living 14. What is Positive Living and why is this conference important?
Positive Living is an HIV prevention and treatment conference. It mainly focuses on people living with HIV and AIDS. It's one of the few conferences of this nature left in the country. Most conferences today are for providers, but we like to focus on people living with HIV and AIDS. So 95% of the people attending the conference today are people living with HIV and AIDS.
What's your most memorable story or experience in all your years of hosting Positive Living?
Oh gosh, there's so many. This conference is all about empowerment. I've seen lives totally changed, where people live totally in the closet with their status and came to the conference, became empowered, went back home, and later became advocates in their own community, started doing public speaking. Some of them even started their own AIDS service organizations in communities where there weren't any. So it's all about giving people the power and the permission to be involved.
And what makes you, why are you involved in AIDS, in HIV/AIDS? What is it why do you give the time?
Well, as a gay man, I have lost so many very close friends because of this disease. And in the early and late 80s, I used to lose friends to the tune sometimes of 3 to 7 a week. And I couldn't just not be involved. And I get emotional when I talk about it because they were so close to me. And I do it to honor their memory and to help people that are going through the struggles they went through. So people still need help. And I made a promise to my best friend, that first person I knew to have AIDS, first person I knew to die from complications of AIDS. And I made a promise to him that I would get involved and make a difference. And that promise is just as real today as it was in 1988.
How different is AIDS today than years ago when you first gotten involved?
Oh, it's a world of difference as far as the treatment aspect. When I got started in all this, we only had one drug, and the side effects of that drug were worse than the disease process itself often. And mainly my job then was that of a grief counselor. I taught people how to die with dignity. And today that's changed. Now I teach people how to proudly live their lives and to know that they have a future. And that's what medications, treatment, and advocacy work has done for our community.
And where do you see as far as the gay community, and as opposed to how they were once involved and as to how involved they are now today? What's changed and what needs to change?
I think as we gain more acceptance in the community as a gay community, for the first time we realized all the diversity within our own community, and different people had different focuses. In the early days when we were sort of identified by this disease, I think people were a lot more involved and gave it everything they had because we didn't have anybody else to depend on but ourselves. We were the caregivers for everybody. We didn't have agencies and staffs and things to take care of the needs of people. It fell on our community. And we stepped up to the plate with pride and did that. And when things got better, we became a little apathetic. But we also had other issues that we were tackling within the gay community: marriage, don't ask, don't tell, and several things that are very important. But somewhere in all that, we've lost our focus on HIV and AIDS, and I think it's time that it has to be brought back, particularly in the light of huge funding cuts that we're looking at. While we've realized all these good years of people enjoying good health, without medications, that's going to stop. And we have to speak up on behalf of our brothers and sisters that are living with this disease, and we have to be a force, and we can't ignore it. We have to give just as much importance to HIV and AIDS as we do any other causes that's important to the LGBT community.
Any last words, anything you want to say?
You know, it's just been a privilege the 14 years I've been doing this conference. We like to think this conference, everybody here is a family. You know, a lot of people return every year. They bring friends. This year we have 440 people registered. Of those, 208 are here for the first time. The others, people that have attended in the past. But I think everybody feels like they're a part of this conference and they have a voice here. And it's a voice that can be strengthened so when they go back home, they're more effective in bringing other people to the table. And that's what we're trying to do, is to empower people and just to love them.
For the people that have attended Positive Living, who are they? What do they look like? Where are they from? What is life like them every day like when they go home? And what is so different about
This conference draws a lot of people from rural communities. While we do have a good number of people that come from metropolitan areas, a large percentage of the people that attend this conference are from small towns all across the South. This year we have 20-something states represented. We have a gentleman from Africa here. And so the issues for the rural community are a lot different than they are in larger areas. And so this is a conference, we call it the Poor Man's Conference. We do a scholarship program because the people that come to this conference are the people that can't afford to go to the larger HIV/AIDS conferences that are held. So we have a very generous scholarship program to help them to be here, to get the message they need to hear, that without this conference they wouldn't get it.
Thank you, Butch. Thank you for everything you do.